For part of question 1, I need all the members in set A, and set A is this one here. So the elements are 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and 15. For part B, A intersection B is the region that belongs both in A and B. So these are the elements 5 and 15. And finally, for part C, we've got A union B dash. That's complement of A union B. Now, A union B is this region here. The complement of that is the region outside. So I've got those 5 elements. Let's write them down. 6, 8, 12, 14, and 16. For part of question 2, I'll take 6p out as a common factor, and then I'll be left with 2q minus 3. For part B, I will add those 3 expressions and set the sum equal to 56. Now let's solve this one. 6y plus 2 is equal to 56. So 6y is equal to 54. Y comes out to be 9. I need to find the number of metal bars that are zinc. Zinc is equal to 2y minus 5. So 2 times 9 minus 5 comes out to be 13. And that's the final answer. For question 3, I'll start by calculating the amount that Joshua received from Nina, and that's the initial deposit of 1,500 plus 36 payments of 450, which comes out to be 17,700. Then I'm going to use the formula for the percentage increase, which is the following. By new, I'm referring to the amount that Joshua received, and by old, that is the amount that Joshua paid for the car. So if I plug in the values, I will get the following: 17,700 minus 12,500 over 12,500 times 100 to make this into a percentage. Answer comes out to be 41.6%. Question 4, part A, I need to work out the value of x. Now if I add these 3 numbers, answer should be 1. So let's get the following equation. Solving this one will give me 3x equals to 0.42. So x is equal to 0.14. Part B, the spinner is spun 250 times. We need an estimate for the number of times this spinner will land on blue. Now, to find an estimate of the number, I'm just going to take the 250 and multiply by the probability of getting a blue. And this is 0.58. It's given in the table above. Do this calculation and you'll get 145. For question 5, I need to find the perimeter of the shape, which is basically the following. Now, for each circle, the diameter is 20 centimeters, so the radius is equal to 10 centimeters, and my perimeter is made up of 1.5 circles and 2 radii. So let's write down the formula. Perimeter is equal to 3/2 times the circumference of a circle, which is 2 pi r, plus the 2 radii. Let's plug in the numbers. Note that the 2 and the 2 here cancel out. So I get 3 pi times 10 plus 2 times 10. This simplifies to 30 pi plus 20. We want our answer to the nearest whole number. Put this in the calculator and you'll get an answer of 114 centimeters. In question 6, for ticket A, there is a 1/6 of the normal price. That means I am paying 5/6 of the normal price. So A, which is the normal price, times 5/6 is equal to 140. So A is 140 divided by 5/6, which is 168. Similarly, for ticket B, I have 20% off, which means I'm paying 80% of the ticket. So B times 80 over 100 is equal to 136. So B is 136 divided by 80 over 100, which is 170. Now I want the difference between those two numbers. So B minus A is equal to 170 minus 168. So my final answer is 2 euros. For question 7, I want the highest common factor of the two numbers. This is equal to the product of all the common factors to their lowest powers. So common factors are 5, lowest power is 3, times 7 to the power of 2, times 11 to the power of 4, and you can leave your answer like this. For part of question 8, just going to take the 3x to the left and the minus 4 to the right, so 8x minus 3x is greater than or equal to 4 minus 10, so 5x is greater than or equal to minus 6, x is greater than or equal to minus 6 over 5. For part B, I've got 3 straight lines. The vertical one, this one here, has equation x equals to 7. The horizontal one, this one, has an equation y is equal to 2. And I need to find the equation of the diagonal one. Now, you can easily see that for every 1 unit to the right, I go 1 up, so the gradient is 1. But if you can't see that, just take 2 points on this line. Let's take, for example, 0, 0 and 9, 9, and use the equation for the gradient, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Gradient comes out to be 1. You can see from the graph that the y-intercept is equal to 0. So the equation of this straight line is y is equal to 1x plus 0, so y is equal to x. Now the shaded region is below the line y is equal to x, above the line y is equal to 2, and to the left of the line x equals 7. So the 3 inequalities are y is greater or equal to 2, x is less than or equal to 7, and y is less than or equal to x. For part of question 9, just going to move the decimal place 4 units to the left. So the answer will become 0.000587. For part B, I'll start from the end and move the decimal between 8 and 4. That's 7 places to the left. So the answer will be 8.4 times 10 to the power of 7. For part C, I'll convert the following sentence into an equation. So the number of neurons in a human brain, and that is 8.5 times 10 to the power of 10. The magic word here is the word is, because that's my equal sign, and then k times the number of neurons in a monkey brain, which is 1.47 times 10 to the power of 9. So to find k, I'm just going to divide 8.5 times 10 to the 10 over 1.47 times 10 to the 9. Now plug this into the calculator and you'll get an answer of 57.8 to 1 decimal place. For question 10, I'm going to split this triangle into 2 smaller ones. Let's label this point where the right angle is as point D. And now let's extract those 2 triangles below. I'll start working with the blue one and find the side A and D. So tan of angle 40 is equal to opposite, which is 8, over adjacent, which is AD. Let's rearrange. AD is equal to 8 over tan of 40. Put this in the calculator and you'll get an answer of 9.53 and so on. Keep all the digits on the calculator because now we're going to go to triangle CDB, the red one. And to find BD, I will just subtract 22 minus 9.53 and so on. This gives me 12.4 and some other digits. And let's label this on the triangle. So to find angle X, I'm going to use tan ratio again. So tan of X is equal to opposite, which is 8, over the adjacent, which is 12.4 with the rest of the digits. So X is the inverse tan of this fraction. So you can put this on the calculator as it is and get an answer of 32.7 degrees to 1 decimal place. For question 11, I'll start by rewriting that expression. I want to make the denominators the same, so I need the lowest common multiple of 4 and 6x, and this is equal to 12x. And I'll need to multiply the first fraction by 3x, the second one by 2. So this gives me 9x plus 2 times 5 minus x. Let's expand 9x plus 10 minus 2x all over the common denominator. Let's simplify 7x plus 10 over 12x. And there's nothing else to simplify. So this is my final answer. For part A of question 12, just plug in the x values into the equation to get the corresponding y values, which are minus 1, 3, 1, minus 1, and 3 again. So we have 5 coordinates. So if I go to part B, we need to plot those 5 points and then use a smooth curve to join those 5 points. For part C, I have 4 graphs that I need to identify. The 2 on the left are the reciprocal functions, y is equal to 1 over x at the top and y is equal to minus 1 over x at the bottom. And then on the right, I have the square reciprocal functions, y is equal to 1 over x squared for the top and y is equal to minus 1 over x squared for the bottom one. And we're asked to identify which graph is y is equal to minus 1 over x squared, and this is graph D. For part of question 13, I need to find the median. Now, since there's a total of 80 adults, I'm going to start by calculating 80 divided by 2, which is equal to 40. So I need the 40th observation. So I'm going to come to my graph, go on the vertical axis, locate 40, and read the corresponding x coordinates. And this comes out to be 25. So 25 seconds is equal to my median. For part B, I need the percentage of those adults that took longer than 50 seconds. So now I'm going to do the reverse. I'm going to go on the graph, find 50 on the horizontal axis and read the corresponding y coordinates. And from the graph, I can see that this is equal to 75. But be careful, 75 is not the answer. 75 is the number of adults that took less than 50 seconds. So the number of adults that took more than 50 seconds is equal 80, which is the total, minus 75 is equal to 5 adults. And I need the percentage, so 5 over 80 times 100. Put this on the calculator and you'll get 6.25%. For question 14, I will need to find the angle ABC, which is the following. To do so, first I'll need to find angle ACO and angle AOC. Now the blue angle here is equal to 52 degrees because triangle AOC is an isosceles triangle. The angle AOC, the red one, is equal to 180 minus 52 and 52, which is 76 degrees. And finally, the purple one is 76 divided by 2, which is 38, because the angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. Now, if I just write the answers, I won't get all the points. I need to give reasons. So let's go below and start writing reasons. So ACA is equal to OAC, which is equal to 52 degrees. Reason: angles at the base of an isosceles triangle are equal. Next, for angle AOC, that's 180 minus the 52 and 52. The reason is that angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. That's for the red angle. And finally, for angle ABC, that's 76 divided by 2, because angle at the center is twice the angle at the circumference. And that's it for question 14. For question 15, I'll start by cross multiplying. So x times 3n minus 4 is equal to 3p plus n. Then I'm going to expand the left hand side. 3nx minus 4x equals 3p plus n. I want to collect all the terms that have an n to the left hand side, so 3nx minus n, and take all the other terms to the right hand side. And the reason for that is so that I can take n as a common factor on the left hand side. Right hand side will stay the same. So finally, n is equal to the right hand side divided by that bracket, which is 3x minus 1, and that is my final answer. For question 16, I have a reference to a gradient of a function that is nonlinear. Therefore, I'll need to proceed to differentiation. So dy dx equals, and in order to differentiate, I'll multiply the power 3 times the coefficient, which is 12x, reduce the power by 1, that's 2, minus 8x becomes just 8, and the plus 5 has a derivative of 0. And now this is equal to the gradient that I'm given, which is 1 over 3, and I need to solve this equation. Let's multiply everything by 3. So 36x squared minus 24 equals to 1. So 36x squared equals to 25. X squared is 25 over 36. So x is plus or minus the square root of 25 over 36, which is plus or minus 5 over 6. And those two are the two possible values for the x coordinate. For question 17, I'm given the following information. 24 oranges weigh less than 20 grams. Therefore, on the histogram, I'm referring to the following area. Now, for that rectangle, the base is 20. I don't know the frequency density, which is the height, but I do know that the area is 24. Therefore, 20 times the frequency density must be 24. Therefore, the frequency density is 1.2, which means that this height here is 1.2. Now that I know that 12 small squares correspond to a frequency density of 1.2, I can go on and complete the scale on the vertical axis. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm asked to find an estimate for the number of medium oranges in the box. Medium oranges are ones that weigh between 35 and 55, and the region between 35 and 55 is the following. So basically I need to find the area of each one of those two rectangles and add them up. So using the scale I just completed, I can do the following. For the first one, that's 15 times 2.2, plus for the second one, 5 times 1.8. Do this calculation on your calculator, you're gonna get 42 oranges. For question 18, first we'll need to find the total distance so that I can use the formula time equals distance over speed to find the time required. Now, I know two of the distances, 3.6 and 8.4. I'm missing AC. In order to use trigonometry to find AC, I need to find these two angles. Now, the top one is interior with this one, so they add up to 180, which means that B is 126, and these three angles add up to 360. Therefore, angle ABC is 102 degrees. So now I can proceed and use cosine rule to find AC. That's the formula for the cosine rule. This is given in the exam. So let's proceed and plug in the required numbers. So I've got AC squared is equal to 3.6 squared plus 8.4 squared minus 2 times 3.6 times 8.4 times cos of 102 degrees. Put this on the calculator. AC squared comes out to be 96.09 and so on. Take the square root. AC is equal to 9.80 and some more digits. So the total distance is this number plus 3.6 plus 8.4, which gives me 21.80. Now I can use the following formula. Time equals distance over speed. So I have 21.80 over the speed, which is equal to 6. And this will give me 3.6337. Now, because the distance is in kilometers and the speed is in kilometers per hour, then these are hours. Now, the answer required must be in hours and minutes. Obviously, there are 3 hours, but how do I convert this amount of hours into minutes? Well, basically, you just take that decimal part and multiply by 60, and this will give you 38 minutes. For question 19, I've got an arithmetic sequence. First term is equal to 3. Common difference is equal to 4 because I'm adding 4 each time. Now I'm going to use the formula for the sum to n terms to locate the position of the last term. Let's substitute in the values. 7,260 equals to n over 2, 2 times 3 plus n minus 1 times 4. Let's simplify. 7,260 equals n over 2, 6 plus 4n minus 4. 7,260 equals to n over 2, 4n plus 2. So now let's expand. 7,260 equals to 2n squared plus n. Let's take everything to the right. So 0 equals 2n squared plus n minus 7,260. Now you have to solve this quadratic. You can either factorize or use the quadratic formula. I will proceed with factorization. First bracket n minus 60, second bracket 2n plus 121. Therefore, I have 2n values. N is equal to 60 and n is equal to minus 121 over 2. Now, n must be a positive integer, so I'm going to reject the second value, which means that the last position is 60. Therefore, I have 60 terms. So now I'm going to use the formula for the nth term to find the number at position 60, which is the last one. This is the formula. So let's plug in the values. 3 plus 60 minus 1 times 4. Put this on the calculator. 239 is the last term. For question 20, let P be equal to the probability of selecting a 10-cent coin. I'm going to draw a small tree diagram to show this scenario. Now the probability of getting a 10-cent coin is P. Therefore, the probability of getting a 20-cent coin is 1 minus P. And I'm given that the probability of two coins having a mean of 10 is 49 over 121. Now, to get a mean of 10, it means that both coins are 10 cents. Hence, the product of those two numbers, P times P, must be 49 over 121. Therefore, P is equal to the square root of that number, which is 7 over 11. So let's complete the tree diagram with the actual numbers. Now, to have a mean of 15, then one of the coins must be 10 cents and the other one must be 20 cents. And there are two combinations. The first combination is to get a 10 followed by 20, and the second one is to get a 20 followed by a 10, which is this one. So if I do the multiplications and the addition, I'm going to get the following: 7 over 11 times 4 over 11 plus the reverse 4 over 11 times 7 over 11. Put this on the calculator and the answer will come out to be 56 over 121. For question 21, the volume of the prism is given by the equation cross-sectional area times the length. Now the cross-section of this prism is the triangle DEF, and the length of the prism is the distance AF, and to find AF you'll need to work with the following triangle. So let's extract those two triangles below. We'll need to find the area of the red triangle and the distance AF from the blue triangle. So cos of 30 is equal to the adjacent, which is D, over the hypotenuse, which is 28. Therefore, DE is equal to 28 cos of 30. Put this on the calculator. You'll get a value of 14 square root of 3. So the area of the red triangle can be found using the following formula. Let's substitute the values in. 1 over 2, 28 times 14 root 3 times sine of 30. And this comes out to be 98 square root of 3. Now, to find the AF from the blue triangle, I'll use Pythagoras theorem. So AF squared is equal to AD squared minus DF squared. AD is 53 and DF is 28. This comes out to be 2025. Taking the square root will give me 45. Therefore, the volume is equal to 98 root 3 times 45, and this comes out to be 7,638, correct to the nearest whole number. For question 22, I'll start by drawing a rough sketch, and then I'll proceed to find the equation of that blue line. I'll need the following two rules. So the gradient of the line OP is equal to minus 10 minus 0 over 8 minus 0, which gives me minus 4 over 5. Using the second rule, the perpendicular lines rule, the gradient of line L is just the negative reciprocal, so the minus becomes a plus, and I flip my fraction to get 4 over 5. So now I can find the equation of line L. So y is equal to m, which is 4 over 5x plus c. I need a point on that line. The only one I know is point P. So let's replace x and y to find c. Minus 10 equals 4 over 5 times 8 plus c. If you solve for c, you get a value of minus 82 over 5. So the full equation of line L is the following: y equals 4 over 5x minus 82 over 5. Now I need to find the x and the y intercepts. When x is equal to 0, y comes out to be minus 82 over 5. Therefore, point R, which lies on the y-axis, has coordinates 0, minus 82 over 5. And for the x-intercept, I need to set y is equal to 0. So I need to solve the following equation: 0 equals 4 over 5x minus 82 over 5. Now if you solve this for x, you'll get a value of 41 over 2. Therefore, Q has coordinates 41 over 2, 0. The only thing left now is to use the distance formula to find the length of PQ. Substituting the coordinates of Q and R into this equation will give me the square roots of 41 over 2 minus 0 squared plus 0 minus minus, so plus 82 over 5 squared. Put this on the calculator and you'll get 26.3 centimeters, correct to 3 significant figures. For question 23, let k be the scale factor for the height, k squared is the scale factor for the area, and k to the power of 3 is the scale factor for the volume. Now let's use the two areas to find k. 7,776 times k squared will give me 486. Therefore, k squared is 1 over 16. K comes out to be 1 over 4. Now I'm going to work with the volume. So 8 to the power of x times the scale factor to the power of 3 will give me 2 to the power of x plus 4. Now I'm going to write 4 and 8 as powers of 2. So 2 to the power of 3 to the power of x times 1 over 2 squared to the power of 3 is 2 to the power of x plus 4. Let's simplify. 2 to the power of 3x times 2 to the minus 2 to the power of 3 is 2 to the x plus 4. So 2 to the 3x times 2 to the minus 6 is 2 to the x plus 4. So using now the addition rule, 2 to the 3x minus 6 equals 2 to the x plus 4. So I've reached a situation where I have one power to the left, one power to the right, so I can equate the powers. 3x minus 6 is equal to x plus 4. Solving for x will give me x equals to 5. So now I can proceed and work with the height. So 3 to the x times my scale factor, which is a quarter, is equal to the height of b. X is equal to 5. So I get 3 to the power of 5 times a quarter is equal to the height of b. Therefore, height of b comes out to be 60.75 centimeters. For question 24, I'm given this function f of x and the translated version g of x. Now, if you notice, the coefficient of x squared and the bracket square is the same. the coefficient of x and the coefficient of the bracket with the power of 1 is the same, but the constant here is 2, while here is 8. So the first thing I'm gonna do is write this plus 8 as plus 2 plus 6 in order to match the plus 2 here at the end. So now if you compare f of x with g of x, you will notice that I can rewrite g of x as f of x plus 4, which will cause all the x's to be replaced by x plus 4 and get this expression here, and then I have the plus 6 at the end. Now there are two translations, one horizontal and one vertical. The plus 4 in the bracket indicates a translation by 4 units to the left, and the plus 6 at the end indicates a translation by 6 units up. Therefore, the vector that takes the function 4 units to the left and 6 units up is the vector minus 4, 6. Now for part B, I have a translated and stretched version of the cosine graph. If you have a look at this expression here, you're going to see there are two transformations. One of them is the plus q, which is a translation to the left by q units. The reason I know it's to the left is because q is positive. The second transformation is the p at the front, and that's a stretch by a scale factor along the y-axis. Note that p is positive, so no reflection is involved. Now I'm going to draw the original cos graph so I can compare. So if I go to the next page, this is my original cosine graph. Note that the vertical height is 2, it goes from minus 1 to 1, and the maximum is at 0, 1 and at 360,1. So let's go back at the transformed cosine graph. The vertical height of this graph is 6 units. It goes from minus 3 to 3. This indicates that there is a stretch by a scale factor of 3, and this is the value of p. Now we need to find the value of q, which is the translation. Let's concentrate on the maximum point here. The coordinates of this point are 315,3, which means that it has been translated by 45 degrees to the left. Therefore, q is equal to 45.